Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, whichever time zone you're part of. I am your host, Capri, aka Cap, and it is currently 10:21 a.m. in my hometown of Beham, Alabama, because I'm on Central Standard Time. Nevertheless, in today's video, I wanted to talk about both how and why the majority of us black men are ass out, so to speak, in a dating market. As a prime example, how many of you men, how many of you brothers on your job may happen to work at either a warehouse or a plant, a manufacturing plant, and you work around not just a lot of brothers, but some women, because there are quite a bit of women doing the same kinds of jobs as men nowadays. And with that being said, how many of you brothers, if you pay close attention, for a lot of my very observant brothers, how many of you have paid close attention to how the majority of women on your job at either the manufacturing plant, assembly plant, or warehouse / distribution center carry themselves in such a non-classic way? Either they're extremely loud and obnoxious. If not that, they come off as extremely masculine. If not that, usually they may come off as pretty arrogant or have a chip on their shoulders, used to speak. In other words, may have a bad attitude. If not that, they may usually have a high body count. And when you factor in a high body count aspect, they may happen to have multiple kids by multiple men. Now, you may happen to be a brother without kids of your very own, and may happen to be looking for a woman who may happen to be your match, so to speak. A woman who may be your equal by not having any so-called baggage. And you may happen to be expecting, or may have approached some women on your job with the potential to be able to eventually become serious with them. And you, first and foremost, you would start up a conversation with them, some of the women on your job, some of them who may happen to catch your eye, and then eventually the two of you may happen to start talking outside of work. Although I wouldn't recommend dating a co-worker due to all the drama that it comes with, but to each their own. Anyway, the two of you, while getting to know each other, whichever female you may happen to strike up a conversation with and get to know more about, as you get to know more about her and you eventually get to take her out. Now, must I remind you, while talking to her at work, holding a casual conversation with her to hold the time by, and she's everything you ever wanted in a woman, appearance-wise. She also has a pretty nice and down-to-earth personality. Only to eventually get to know more about outside of work, from talking to her outside of work, while as opposed to talking to her at work, and get to eventually take her out on a date, and during the date finding out that she has either a kid, in most instances kids already. And to make matters even worse, may happen to have more than one kid by more than one man, which is usually a red flag for so many men, especially the men that are childless themselves. If not that, she may happen to, say for instance, not have kids, so may happen to be your match as far as that aspect goes. It just so happens she may happen to have several tattoos across her body. Must I remind you, she may happen to be extremely beautiful and may happen to have the exact shape you may like in a woman. For a lot of you men who may like curvy women, may happen to be the exact height for some of you men who prefer shorter women, because it's a well-known fact, unlike how some women prefer taller men, that the average man prefers a woman who's taller, shorter, than he is. Okay, you get to talking to her, and the two you seem to be on the same page, so to speak, share very great chemistry. But the only thing is, she has several tattoos, and not only that, but she constantly cusses on the regular, to the point where she will make a seller look, put a seller to shame. And I do, for some of you who may be brand new to my channel, I do have a tendency from time to time in the habit of stumbling across my words. My point of saying this is, most, once again, I will not quit stressing enough, the majority of us black men, when it comes to the dating market, are asked out. Even when it comes to matching with women outside of your job, from a lot of my brothers who prefer going a route, so to speak, by getting to know women off of dating apps, off of social media and dating apps. It never fails. The majority, and I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of my men who prefer women, who prefer a woman with children, specifically my brothers without kids of your very own. How many times, brothers, have you happened to match with a woman or seen a woman who struck your interest on a dating / social media app, who's your exact match, who also is the exact type, only to find out in her bio or according to her profile that she has a ready-made family? Because that's all it is. Anytime you meet a woman who has either a kid or kids from a previous relationship or relationships, it's a ready-made family. It's no way around it. And that's one of the reasons why so many guys shy away from women like that with ready-made families, is due to how it comes with so much toxicity, so much drama, especially if the dad or daddies in most instances is one of those toxic types of men who can't stay out of jail, who loves to put his hands on women over and over, who has been arrested for committed some of the most heinous crimes, in the worst case scenario, has done so many years in a pen, that's short for the penitentiary, due to his very violent and criminal nature. And I can't blame a lot of you guys without kids of your very own who believe in shying away from women when kids already. And it's a well-known fact, and especially in the Black American community, that so many women always go for those types of guys over the guys that are the upstanding, some of the most upstanding guys, some of the main guys who will make the best husbands and best fathers, due to how they look at those types of guys as corny, boring, lame. I could go on and on. And that's another reason why I say that so many black men, specifically black men in the U.S., are asked out when it comes to the dating pool, so to speak. And not only that, but it seems like more and more women nowadays are becoming more and more masculine. If you would also factor in how they are even more having kids by more than one man, which is a masculine trait. Because a while back, it used to, for the most part, be, am I right or wrong, brothers, where I would say more so men, regardless of race or ethnicity, choosing to have more than one kid by more than one woman. Now it's more women trying to compete with a man by trying to do all they can to see how many men they could be able to have kids by. And once again, this just proves my point, fellas, of how, and I'm referring to specifically my black men, we are asked out on so many levels in a dating pool. Because where other groups of men have to go through the hardships that we go through as far as relationships go, as far as being able to find that perfect match without her being either extremely ghetto / obnoxious / loud, wherever they may happen to be, our women. If not that, have, without having to worry about her wearing fake hair, or without having to worry about her having a whole lot of tattoos. If not that, without worrying about her having to have a stank attitude, without worrying about her having baggage, so to speak. In other words, having so many kids by so many guys, because very few women nowadays, black women, believe in having kids by the same guy, more than one kid by the same guy. On top of that, we also have to be fearful and paranoid about if we do hook up with that sister who may happen to be our exact type and match her giving us an STD, due to how so many of them nowadays taking pride, full pride, having a high body count just to be able to compete with men that much more. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, and also, like I always, make sure you like, share, comment, last but not least, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I'm out of here.